Live, and joining me today once again is our weather producer, Sky. Her name's not Sky. Oh, I'm getting so confused. Joanna Robinson.
That's me. Hi. We're back again.
We are here today to talk about the Christmas Day weather.
We are indeed. Lots to talk about what it will be like on Christmas Day. Will there be snow? Everyone wants to know.
It's always the big question every year. In fact, people sometimes ask me like too early, like summertime.
I'm pretty sure people have been asking me in October, November, way too early.
But we're not going to give it away straight away, really.
No.
We're going to be talking about what's been happening generally through this week and the fact that it's been rather mild. And today it has been cloudy for most places with outbreaks of rain as well.
Certainly has, yeah. We've had this real misty, murky sort of conditions recently, mild with it. That's set to continue for a while, but we want to know, is it going to change? And what's the change going to be? Is it going to be snow? So send us your questions.
Yeah. In fact, that's why we will be looking down at our phones. Let me just unlock this. Oh, you know what it's like with this technology. Okay, and send us your questions, what you want to know over the next few days. Obviously, you're going to want to know what the Christmas Day forecast is, and that is the big question that we will be answering, but not straight away, obviously, because we want you to keep watching. So we're going to tease you. For now, we're going to be talking about the mild conditions and how it has been rather cloudy. But we're also going to talk about past Christmas days, aren't we? There have been some rather wintry conditions in past Christmases. In fact, well, actually, we'll see if you want to guess this. Do you know when the last technical white Christmas was? Now, Joe will explain what technically what we mean by a white Christmas.
Yes, so you might think a white Christmas means you've got snow everywhere on the ground. That's the white Christmas. But no. Technically speaking, it's one snowflake has to fall on an observation area to make it a white Christmas. So it could be a white Christmas, but not look very Christmassy outside. So yes, send us your guesses on that. When did we have the last white Christmas or official white Christmas? Let us know your thoughts on that, and we'll keep you posted on an answer.
Absolutely. Until then, we've got some questions already coming through. Chris asks, is the weather going to be a travel nightmare? It depends where you're going to be, but actually for most places it doesn't look too bad. In fact, shall I start looking at the forecast? Perhaps maybe then we can reveal that and start to see what's going to be happening over the next few days leading up to Christmas Day, so if you will be travelling. So I just need to swap all these materials. So, and Joe, questions?
Yes, I'll keep looking at the questions, keep firing them in, and I'll have a look at them and we can go through them afterwards. But certainly in terms of that question and the travel nightmares, certainly before Christmas, I don't think there'll be too many problems in terms of the weather affecting travel. I think it's more going to be afterwards, but Naz will give you all the information now, and I'll keep an eye on the questions.
Thanks, Joe. So, just generally an overview if you are starting to travel from the weekend. For Saturday, as you can see, most places, once again, it's going to be a cloudy day, but it doesn't look too bad, although it will start to become windier from the north, and that's when we're going to start seeing a change with spells of rain expected. So, a closer look into Saturday, if my clicker would work, and we can change this through. Oh, no. It doesn't seem to be working. Technical fault! Why does that not work? Oh my gosh, this has got to be quite embarrassing for us, actually. Did I do something wrong? Probably. Anyway, let me keep talking because you want to obviously know what's happening on Saturday. It looks like it's frozen, I'm afraid, so we can't give you the details for that. In fact, oh no, everything is decided to fail, but you know what? You don't need the graphics. We're going to tell you what's happening. So it's just ignore what's happening behind us. It's going to be rather cloudy across many areas for the next few days, and we are going to be seeing spells of rain across many areas across the north. So across southern parts, it will be cloudy, but it will be mainly dry. But across the north, and I think really for Saturday across northern parts of Scotland, but perhaps later in the day towards the north of England and Northern Ireland, there will be spells of rain and it will be rather windy. But calmer conditions across the rest of England and Wales are expected on Saturday. Sunday is Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve looks fairly similar.
I was going to say, shall we leave the forecast until the graphics are back?
Yeah,
Shall we?
definitely.
Shall we answer some questions? Some questions are coming through, so I wonder if we ask some questions that are coming in. So let me get those now. So we've got one here. Sam asks, is it going to be pouring with rain in London on New Year's Eve? I presume that's meant to be. Well, that's still a good week away, so that really is quite hard to tell this far on. Certainly, I mentioned earlier, we are looking at much more unsettled conditions after Christmas, or between Christmas and New Year. So the likelihood of some rain around then is quite high, but pinpointing the exact detail of where it will rain, exactly when it will rain, and how much rain there'll be is way too soon to say this far out. So we'd be looking at that more like 4 or 5 days ahead. Now it's more than a week, so it's a bit too far to tell for exactly where it's going to rain on New Year's Eve. I'm sure there'll probably be some rain somewhere because we are into the unsettled theme, but certainly a bit too early for knowing an exact region or city like London. Any more questions coming in?
There's a good one here from Kira, and she asked, why has it been so mild lately after being so cold for weeks? Well, the main reason for that is to do with the wind direction. So we've recently had a lot of snow. I know that where Jo lives, she got a lot of snow. Some of us didn't see it, but it has been cold, and that's due to rain hitting cold air, really. And the winds have been coming in from a cold northerly direction before. That's why it was so cold across many areas. Now we've got more of a westerly flow. Now that, or a southwesterly, has been bringing through a milder airflow, but also quite a bit of moisture, which with the winds being light as well, has caused those murky conditions where we have had earlier in the week warnings from the Met Office during the morning where the fog has been lingering for much of the day. Joe's just gone off to try and fix the graphics. Really sorry about this, guys. Wow, what an interesting Facebook Live. So that's the reason why we've had fog lingering. Now, an interesting rule in terms of how quickly fog will clear during the morning is to look at which month it is. So, for example, December is the 12th month of the year. So by around midday, 12 o'clock, the fog will mostly clear. Now, that's just a general rule. Or November, for example, 11 o'clock. But as we head to the beginning of the year, you minus 1 from that. So for January, you minus 1, and from 12, and that makes it 11 a.m. when the fog should clear. Just an interesting fact there for you. And in fact, although we're still waiting for the forecast for Christmas Day, no one's even tried to guess when the last... Yeah. Oh, we have got a guess. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
We've had some guesses. Guesses for the last white Christmas, 1963.
This is a lot of guesses.
Yeah, 2010. Now that's the one that I thought most people would say. That's the last time that certainly was quite cold. We had a lot of snow through December in 2010. It was very cold. So that's the guess I was expecting from people. We've also had 2012 and 2013. So keep those guesses coming in, and I'll keep fixing the graphics.
I really hope these get fixed in time. We do apologise. If not, I promise we'll do another Facebook Live where we'll tell you properly. But also, don't forget that we always have the long-range forecast, which technically does tell you if it's a white Christmas or not on our other services. So you can, is it the red button? On demand. On demand. On your Skybox, you can find out there definitely whether what the long-range forecast is. But actually, I'm going to give the answer away if that's okay with you, Joe. The last technical, and that's, don't forget, for a snowflake to be seen falling from the sky at a weather station, so not necessarily snow already on the ground. The last technically white Christmas was back in 2015, where 10% of the stations saw snow falling, but there was nothing on the ground. What's also interesting about that Christmas day in 2015 is that it was also the wettest Christmas day, with 165 millimetres of rain in Capel Curig, if I've pronounced that correctly, in Wales. But there were also one guess that was correct is actually 2010. That was the most memorable one. Yeah,
no, that certainly was a memorable one. So yes, 83% of stations snow on the ground. That's a huge percentage, 83%. I mean, I certainly remember it being snowy. Yeah, like we were probably at work, weren't we? So that really was, and 19% saw snow or sleet falling. So there you go. Very cold then. We have some graphics. We'll quickly do that. But just to summarise, I think for travel plans ahead of Christmas, The weather's looking fairly benign, not too much going on, just this mist and murk we need to get rid of, but looking much more unsettled after Christmas. So certainly keep an eye on the forecasts after Christmas if you've got travel plans then. Here's Naz with the forecast.
We finally made it! Hooray! Right, so as I was saying, Saturday, if you're going to be travelling from the start of the weekend, it's a fine day really, although it's going to be rather cloudy and wet, and it is going to be quite... It's not working again. Can you click it from there for me? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry about this. There we go. My lovely assistant is helping to click through. It's going to be a rather cloudy day. It's going to be mild. It's going to be fine for most places, but not everywhere. We'll take a look at Saturday in more detail. As you can see, across the parts of Scotland and for Northern Ireland, there will be spells of rain. It will be rather windy across these areas, so perhaps they may be a bit tricky for driving, but nothing major is expected. And across parts of the north and west of both England and Wales, I think there will be a little bit of light rain. Now, heading on into Sunday for Sunday, which is, I believe, is it Joe, Christmas Eve? Well, this is where we again see similar conditions, but we start to see that rain starting to sink its way a little further southwards. So there could still be some heavy downpours for Christmas Eve. For those of us who've left it really to the last minute for Christmas shopping, just be aware it might be rather wet and windy for parts of Northern Ireland, the north of the Republic, Northern England, and the north and west of Scotland. Perhaps not as wet towards the eastern parts of Scotland, but still rather windy. Gales are likely. I think lighter winds further south. And as you can see, as I mentioned before, a southwesterly mild airflow is expected, so it will be mild for the time of year. And then for Christmas Day, we're going to get there finally. Now, you can see a bit of a white blob, and this is a low chance of it, but it's an increasing chance towards the end of the day and into Boxing Day. There may be some wintry outbreaks across the high ground with sleet and snow. I think mainly for the high ground of northern parts of Scotland, but at low levels I think mostly likely to see outbreaks of rain. It's going to become increasingly windy, and Boxing Day really is the one to be watching out for, isn't it? Where it will become really wet and windy. Now I think we've gone way over time. I'm really sorry that we've had these technical issues. So sorry, but we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hopefully we'll see you before the New Year though. Thank you very much for your time.
Bye.
Bye.